5 things during work. And that means they're working and they're with us and they have no further obligation. If they're not, it could be there's no such person. It could be that the person's no longer working. They're no longer living at that address. They may be moved. Maybe they moved to a different country, or maybe the person doesn't exist. And we then take that person off the payroll, and we save a lot of money by doing that. But that's one of the only ways. I think it's a very smart thing. And it says, if you don't answer, essentially, there's a penalty to pay. Like, that's the end of the job.
Well, Musk has said that. The order itself doesn't say that. I think that's part of the confusion.
And what's up to my man, guest dude, man? How's it going?
Is he speaking for you when he says?
Yeah. Everybody speaks for me. I'm the one. I'll take responsibility. The old statement, the buck stops here, right? Famous statement. Well, I can say the same thing. The buck stops here. No, we have to find out if people are getting paid and they're not working. And, they have a problem. Let's say they have another job and then they write in false statements. It's a big problem if they write in false statements. They may be working for somebody else, but getting paid by the U.S. government. And that would mean that they're not allowed to be doing that. They're not allowed to be working for us and be working for somebody else. We're paying them a lot of money. We're paying them. So we'll see. That solves that problem. Most people aren't willing to say that, we're doing this, and this, and this for the U.S. government, and yet they're at another job, because that's a big problem for them if they do that. So in some cases, they're not writing back. And if they don't write back, they end up eventually losing their job. We give them extensions, but that was something we thought about a long time ago. We give them extensions, but we'll see. We have to make sure, number one, that we have people, number two, that they're working, and number two, they're working for us, not for another company.
Is it true that President Zelensky is coming on Friday to meet with you, and is the mineral deal sorted out?
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly, it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. And I think the American people, even if you look at polling, they're very happy because, Biden was throwing money around like it's cotton candy. And it's a very big deal. Look, it could be $1 trillion deal. It could be whatever, but it's rare earths and other things. And look, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on.
And I love that point. And not even the point, but I love what he's doing over there in Ukraine. He's like, hey, yeah, look, we need the rare earth minerals. And what they say, Ukraine got a pretty good supply on grain. Yeah, we can use that too. Go ahead and bring that over here as well. So I kind of like what this man's doing. He's kind of using almost every tragedy that went down in the past, year or two. 2 years or so. Man, Ukraine, Gaza. All right, so the Gaza thing. All right, now Gaza's about to be part of U.S. real estate. Wow, okay. Now Ukraine and Russia. All right, well, we're going to find a way to benefit from Russia owning parts of Ukraine by getting, rare earths and minerals and all that good stuff. It's like, I like it. We're finding a way to benefit on all fronts, no matter what. We're turning bads and we're turning lemons into lemonade. And shout out, man, I appreciate the support. So go ahead and double tap that screen, like the video. Let's get more people on the conversation. Or those 3 dots up there in the corner.
Ukraine and Russia fighting a war that should have never, ever happened. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president. And it didn't happen for 4 years. People say, how do we know that it didn't happen for 4 years? Would have never happened. And nevertheless, this guy went into this situation and he spent money like nobody's ever seen, $350 billion. The other thing that we don't like is that Europe has spent $100 billion. We've spent $350 billion. Europe gets their money back because they spent it in the form of a loan, and we just gave them, whether it's 300 or 350 billion, nobody really knows. They can't even tell me the answer to that, but it means probably more than that. So what we're doing is now we're saying, look, we want to be secured. We want to get that money back. We're helping a country through a very, very big problem, a problem like very few people have had. Shouldn't have had this problem because it shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. So we have to straighten it out. But the American taxpayer now is going to get their money back plus.
Mr. President, yesterday with Emmanuel Macron, you said you had spoken to Putin about the idea of peacekeepers in Ukraine, that Putin was fine with it. The Kremlin, I guess, has said that that's actually unacceptable to them.
That's not what I was told. But you're going to need some form of peacekeeping. So something will be done that's going to be satisfactory to everybody. We need peacekeeping too.
Any situation
It's
where
actually,
American troops
it's
involved?
actually something I did discuss, but a form of peacekeeping that's acceptable to everybody. Ultimately, we'll be able to agree on something, I'm
With
sure.
with Ukraine and this mineral deal, what does Ukraine get in return, Mr. President?
$350 billion and lots of equipment and military equipment and the right to fight on and originally the right to fight. Look, Ukraine, I will say they're very brave and they're good soldiers, but without the United States and its money and its military equipment, this war would have been over in a very short period of time. In fact, I was the one that gave the javelins. You remember the famous javelins? That was me. That wasn't Obama. It wasn't Biden. It wasn't anybody else. It was me. And they wiped out a lot of tanks with those javelins. And the expression was that Obama gave sheets and I gave the javelins. That was a big deal at the time. It wiped out. That was the beginning when people said, wow, that's something. Well, that was American equipment. Without American equipment, this war would have been over very quickly. And American money, too. I mean, a lot of money.
So that war fighting equipment and the ammunition, that's sustained going forward for Ukraine, and how long is it sustained?
Well, it could go forward for a while, and maybe until we have a deal with Russia. Look, we need to have a deal with Russia, otherwise it's gonna continue. But now, when Americans put up their money,
And for those of you who are mad about, oh, well, we need to deal with Russia. Yes, we need to deal with Russia. We need to deal with the stronger force, okay? They may be the opposing force, but the strongest force in this matter. So what does it look like us talking with Ukraine when they have no power in this matter? It doesn't matter what they want. They can't even take their own land back. So they don't matter. Russia, I mean, bro, if they really wanted to, they could take all of Ukraine, but they've chosen to stop because of Trump. So come on now. The only people we can honestly talk to is the people who can go out there and take more land if they want.
the taxpayer money and the president approves it, we're getting our money back in some form. But it could go on for a while or it could be settled quickly. I think it's going to be settled quickly. I spoke with President Putin. I think he wants to settle it. And once he
And shout out my man Daniel Castro. He said, cheers, man. Nice move. We ain't playing any BS. On God. On God. Joe, you're gonna have to come back on we might have to save your stuff for the weekend, man. We'll save you for the weekend.
get on with life, it's horrible. What's happening horrible. Thousands of
Or until you commit that you're wrong. Those are two reasons we'll bring you in. Either for a call-in show or until you commit that you're wrong.
soldiers a week are being killed, and others too, but especially on the battlefield. Thousands a week are being killed, and we want that to end. Yeah, Brian?
Yes, okay. Real quickly, Carolyn Levitt, your press secretary, sent an earthquake through that briefing room earlier today announcing that the WHCA would not have any control over placing media in the seats, the briefing room. Just want to get your thoughts on that. And also on Air Force One. It's trending on X. People are talking about it. Get your thoughts.
Well, we're going to be now calling those shots. As you know, we won that lawsuit right there. See, the Gulf of America, which is a beautiful name. Most people agree. I don't know. It's, AP has been terrible. Look, I think they're radical left. I think they're third-rate reporters.
Here's the craziest thing. Why in this great country of America, why are Americans mad about the Gulf of America? I just don't get it. I feel like that's the most un-American thing at this point. It's like, bro, the Gulf of Mexico is now ours. The Gulf of America. If you out there as a full-blown American going like, oh, it's still the Gulf of Mexico to me, then take your ass to Mexico.
I know the specific young lady that works on the account is terrible. She's a radical left lunatic, as far as I'm concerned. They don't treat us fairly. That's number one. And number two, they had no right to do that. This is the Gulf of America. And if you look at that shoreline, look at that shoreline. Look, from Florida, well, most of it it's called America. And vast majority, like big numbers. So I'm just admiring it as I look at it. I'm getting teary-eyed, but I don't want you to say Trump broke down and started crying. No, how beautiful is that? Look at the shoreline. Look at that.
Well,
That's America.
Can I shift our attention to Canada real quick?
Yes, please.
Last week, I spent some time with two government officials from Canada. I was asking them how realistic is it that Canada would be the 51st state.
Yeah.
And they told me there is a path. Alberta is first, and if they sign on, Saskatchewan would follow, and then you go west to British Columbia. There is a movement in Canada to join us. I want to get your thoughts on that and how that's proceeding.
So it's true. Thank you, Brian. It's true. A lot of people in Canada are liking becoming our beautiful, cherished 51st state. They'll have to pay much lower taxes. They'll have the ultimate security. You know, they don't pay very much for security right now because they rely on us, which is really unfair to us. They make cars that we could make, and they send them back into the United States. They make a lot of things, including the sending of oil and everything. We don't need their oil. We don't need their lumber. In fact, we're going to be freeing up.
I'm weak. Shout out James Foley. He says, well, I'm glad Joe Smo is it. Wait, I'm what? I'm glad Joe Smo isn't gone. I can finally be gay. Or are you glad he is gone? Okay, now you're glad he is gone because he's gone up out of here. Sorry, Joe. And James, I mean, let's be real. You were going to be gay regardless. Like,
Up, and I've asked Howard Lutnick to get that done with Lee and everybody. Lee Zeldin, environmental. We're freeing up our forests. We're going to be able to take down trees. Right now, you know, we're so restricted environmentally. We're going to be freeing it up with an emergency order. We have an emergency order, and we're going to be freeing up our forests. We have more forests than almost anybody, and great lumber, great trees. We don't need anybody's trees. We don't need trees from Canada or anybody else. In fact, we have to put the slits, as they call them, the area, you know, 50, 60-yard area in between areas of trees. It stops the fires. And frankly, California should have been doing that for years. It's almost getting late. They're going to run out of forests the way they're going. What a shame. And by the way, the water is flowing in California. I hope you people have seen it, but the water is flowing. Do you have a picture of that? Hold it up. Do you have a picture of that? Get a picture of it, please. You know, we had a little skirmish in California. I can't believe we had to do that, but we opened up the water in California. The water was flowing into a place called the Pacific Ocean, which for the Pacific Ocean is only a drop. But for us, it's more water than we can use in California. So I'll get you some photographs, but it's a beautiful sight. The water is flowing in California, beautiful water from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. And it flows down, and instead of being routed out to the Pacific Ocean, and this has been going on for 20 years more in order to take care of a certain species of fish, which wasn't doing very well without water, I can tell you. So,
and shout out to my man. Shout out to my man, Guest Dude. He said James finally comes out as gay, and I missed him by 3 minutes. Damn it. I could have had a Boston man. There's always next Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
That's a big deal. It's like,
so the gay clubs go up on a Tuesday now?
Not reported. It's incredible. But California has a lot of water. That's going to take care of farmers. It's going to wetten up the land. And it's going to go all the way down to Los Angeles, where they have curfews on water, where they have all sorts of blocks on water. You can only use so much. We're going to put until just recently, they were going to put a number of gallons per person living in a house in Beverly Hills on water. You're not going to have that problem anymore. Do you have a picture? Let me just see what that looks like. How beautiful is that? Look at that beautiful water flowing. Look at that. That's coming in the dikes and other means of transportation. Isn't that beautiful? Who would believe that?
You know what kills me? It was so easy to do this, bro. It's so easy to do this that you would really just look at like Gavin Newsom, like, bro. Stupid. It was that easy, bro. All you had to do was just get the water up there. So by that, like, just because it was that easy, he's stupid in terms of leadership. Like, you're stupid when it comes to leadership. And shout out to my man Adam Rogers coming in with a $5 super chat. He says, "Can I get about $5 million in donations for a golden card? I promise I'll pay taxes if it's a path to citizenship. Pay to win, baby." Hey, man, I'm weak. All right, that was funny. Shout out my man James Foley coming in with a 2. He says, "Not gay at first. Had to ask the rabbi for permission." Bro, Smoothie's in it. No, never mind. No, that fuck it. I ain't gonna lie, that was funny as hell. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Damn it, bro. You could have said Catholic priest. You chose rabbi.
That's all water they could have had. I went to the governor during my first term and I said, why don't you do this? And they said they have an environmental problem with clean water. If this water were there, you wouldn't have had those fires. You had sprinklers. They make people put sprinklers in the ceiling of a home, and they had no water in them. With this, they would have had a lot of water in them. They would have all been full. That would have had you would have had a whole different deal down there. You probably wouldn't have had a fire, but if
I ain't gonna lie, this is what you call an asshole point. It's like, and it's a I told you so point. It's like, that's why I like to call it an I told you so point. It's an asshole point. Because it's like, bro, you're being an asshole about it. It's like, come on, bro. I told you. This all you really had to do was go ahead and put water up here and you wouldn't have, come on, you wouldn't have got fired. Look at it. This is how you solve problems. Now, not how you did it, but this. Everybody look at the picture that Trump has. Like, it's kind of an asshole way to make a point.
were built, these were all built. And you saw them for years. They were empty, concrete. They call them the V-shapes or the half pipes. And they're shaped different forms, but they're shaped and they rush down through the farm areas where the farmers can take it and down to Los Angeles. And they were sitting empty for years. And now look at that way it looked. It wasn't easy. We had to be very unfriendly to get into those areas. We opened it up.
Mr. President.
I essentially attacked.
And guys, I do want to make sure that, guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and like the video. And I have something upcoming new for the members. And this is a members only perk. Shout out to the members and shout out to my man Castro for the idea. So we're going to go ahead and have members only can come up and have we'll give you 2 minutes, a 2-minute response to any, to whatever video we're playing, any per video. It doesn't matter which video, per video. It don't even matter. You don't got super chat in or nothing. Just let me know when you want to come on and I'll go ahead and I'll send you guys the Discord link in the Discord or DM it or put it in the Discord chat. Appreciate you guys. And remember, if you want to become a member to have that perk as well, all you got to do is join.
California, can you believe it? I attacked California. Let's go.
Yes, even the naysayers can go ahead and get their 2 minutes off and go crazy on Trump if you want to. Just got to be a member.
At the outset of your administration, sir, you committed to ending the weaponization of government, to holding those accountable who participated in the weaponization of government.
Hold it. This is a good one. Is everybody listening? Deranged Jack Smith. We're going to call it the Deranged Jack Smith signing or bill.
One law firm that provided pro bono legal services to the special counsel's office under Jack Smith's leadership was Covington and Burling. As a result of those actions, we're now going to be suspending and putting under review the security clearances for the attorneys and employees at that firm who worked with Jack Smith's team. And we're going to continue holding the people who were responsible for the weaponization of government and who supported it accountable for what they did.
And you'll be doing this with other firms as time goes by, right?
We're looking at sort of the whole panoply of options.
The weaponization of our system by law firms, even pro bono work they're doing just in order to clog up government, stop government. And nobody knows about it more than me. And hopefully that'll never happen again.
So the Covington and Burlington.
Man.
Covington and Burlington.
I mean, look, bro, if you did any real research into how that man got felonies, like, bro, look at this man's felony charges and tell him tell me, does it not look like these people just copy and pasted felonies? Like, and I mean by copy and paste, they charge a man for the same felony 3-4 times. Like, a man had multiple felonies, but they charge him for the same felony 3 or 4 times for a total count of, 34 felonies. I mean, shit, I guess you can make anything happen legally when you're acting corrupt legally.
Mr. President, may I ask you a question about Europe? For long term, do you plan to maintain the number of U.S. troops?
Wait, I just want to savor this one, please. Who would like this pen? Hey, why don't you send it to Jack Smith?
And shout out Seth. She says, W. Daniel, I love that idea. Hello, everyone. Hey, Seth, how you doing, sis? Shout out Seth. Coming in with the hello.
A deranged person.
So, what do you say to people who worry that targeting an individual firm or individuals who aren't Jack Smith?
Excuse me. I've been targeted for 4 years, longer than that. So you don't tell me about targeting. I was the target of corrupt politicians for 4 years, and then 4 years after that. So don't talk to me about targeting. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President,
Yeah, look.
there are approximately 2 million federal employees right now. By the end of your term, what do you expect that number to be? What would you like that number to be?
Well, it'll be lower, but I can't tell you. Everybody knows I ran on downsizing government, but making government better. I ran on tariffs and making our country rich, and that's what's going to do. We're going to be doing something else that's going to be very, very good. We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million.
Damn. Okay, this is what Hey, okay, Aaron. This is what you was talking about. My man, Adam. This is what Adam was talking about because he said, "Look, if you gonna come in here, man, you better have that money on." He said, "You gonna get not a green card, a gold card." I wonder how that mug gonna look. Like, bro, it should be a card that got the USA, but like that got the USA flag, but it all gold though. That'd be so cool. I would damn near get a gold card. Fuck it, I'll save up for one just to have it. But in all serious point, I mean, I don't know, bro. That doesn't seem like a good idea. And I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't seem like a good idea. Because, bro, last time I checked, there's a lot of evil people who can afford $1 million for $5 million. I mean, there are terrorists, like leaders of terrorist organization who can give a guy $5 million to get their ass in here. So I would actually have to ask him, yeah, what are the requirements of getting a gold card? Because it can't just be $5 million. It can't just be that.
And that's going to give you green card privileges. Plus, it's going to be a route to citizenship. And wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy and they'll be successful and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful. Never been done before or anything like this, but it's something that we're going to be putting out over the next, would you say 2 weeks, Howard? Do you want to say a couple of words about it?
Mr. President, are there
Wait a
any
minute.
requirements for that
Hang on
gold
a second.
card? Do you have to invest a certain amount of money in this country in order to qualify for that gold card?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Go
the
ahead.
EB-5 program was really, you lend some money, but it was full of nonsense, make-believe and fraud, and it was a way to get a green card that was low priced. So the president said, rather than having this sort of ridiculous EB-5 program, we're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card, which is really a green card gold. So they'll be able to pay $5 million to the U.S. government. They'll have to go through vetting, of course. We're going to make sure they're wonderful, world-class global citizens. They can come to America. The president can give them a green card, and they can invest in America, and we can use that money to reduce our deficit. Why do we give out lotteries of green cards? Why do we give out EB-5 for green cards? The President of the United States understands that the right answer is, why don't we eliminate the deficit of the United States of America instead?
The gold card, well, millions, but the gold card.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to steal that joke, Shmuley. That was actually a funny ass joke. This man said, I'm an American premium subscriber. That is hilarious, my friend. That's hilarious. But he's not wrong though. It's like, it does sound like, yeah, I'm on that American subscription, baby. How much you pay? I pay that good $5 million, baby. You know, I'm an American citizen, USA. I don't like that. I do not like that. But I'm hoping he's going to explain how is this going to work in detail. Because right now I'm like, yeah, no, I'm okay. That leads too many. I ain't gonna lie. That leads to a lot of loopholes in the way bad people can get into America. Still, I mean, it just takes one evil ass billionaire to send in like what? I mean, 30 criminals. 30 criminals. He just got paid $5 million each. That man done spent like $150 million just to be an evil motherfucker and send criminals into America. So it better be something else than just you having $5 million.
Will bring in with it people that create jobs, very high level people. I think companies will pay to get people in. For instance, you today graduate from the Wharton School of Finance or Harvard or Stanford or any college, and nobody knows if you can even go to work for a company. So Apple and all these companies that want to get people to be working for them will be able to buy a card, and for the people that are number one in their class at top schools. I see that as one of the things, but
We got about 100 y'all in here, man. Do me a favor and double tap that screen, man. Let's get more people in on the conversation, or hit the 3 dots up there through the SK Media logo. Appreciate the support.
generally speaking, it'll be people with money and people that create jobs, and they won't have to pay any tax on income outside of the United States, which they're not paying right now. They're not citizens, but they'll have to pay if they create jobs in the United States. They'll pay full taxes like everybody else. So you're getting big taxpayers, big job producers, and we'll be able to sell maybe 1 million of these cards, maybe more than that. And if you add up the numbers, they're pretty good. As an example, 1 million cards would be worth $5 trillion. $5 trillion.
Wow.
And if you sell 10 million of the cards, that's a total of $50 trillion. Well,
Oh, and you know what? Like I said, I need to hear the requirements because he's scaring me a bit. I'm just like, look, dog, I hear where you're going with this. I hear where you're going, monetarily wise, but homeland security wise, though, how are you protecting us on that side? Because this gold card, like I said, that leaves a crazy loophole for some evil rich people to send some questionable people in here. I mean, it also leaves a loophole for, I don't know, maybe enemy nations to, round up a couple billion and start flooding people in here on the guidelines that they can afford $5 million a person.
we have 35 trillion in debt. That'd be nice. So we'll see. But it could be great. Maybe it will be fantastic. We have it all worked out from the legal standpoint. It's totally legal to do. Hasn't been done before. It's been done in many different forms. We give them away. Why should we give them away? We shouldn't give them away. And I think it's something very exciting. I think it's potentially just something that we're all very excited about. So it's a gold card. It's somewhat like a green card, but at a higher level of sophistication. It's a road to citizenship for people. And essentially people of wealth or people of great talent, where people of wealth pay for those people of talent to get in, meaning companies will pay for people to get in and to have long-term status in the country. And I think it's something we're very, very happy about. Would you have anything to say about that?
Well, many other countries, by the way, do this, including, of course, your 51st state does that.
And the money's earmarked for deficit reduction?
It may be earmarked for deficit, but it actually could be more money than that. I mean, if you did 10 million, you'd have $15 trillion left over. But generally, it's going to be paid down debt. Yes.
Do you need Congress for this? Do you think you need?
No, we don't need Congress. No, because we're not doing citizenship. We're doing the card. It's a path. It's a path to.
I'm weak. Hey, that was a very smart aleck answer. He's like, yeah, we'll see. Under his breath, though, if you ain't hear that, that was smart.
It's going to be paid down debt. Yes.
Do you need Congress for this? Do you think you need?
No, we don't need Congress. No, because we're not doing citizenship. We're doing the card. It's a path. It's a path to citizenship, a very strong path to citizenship. But we're not doing the citizenship. For that, I'd have to get Congress.
And would all countries be elected?
Hold on. Then what the fuck is? Hold on now. Now he confusing me. I ain't even gonna lie. Now I'm a bit confused, guys. I thought they were gonna buy the citizenship. Well, like, what are they doing? Paying $5 million a year, a month? Like, what's going on here? Because I thought you paid $5 million and you just a full blown citizen. That's what was scaring me. So I'm kind of glad that's not the premise. He's pretty much saying this isn't automatic citizenship for $5 million.
Eligible for this gold card?
Depends. The countries largely, the people will be vetted very carefully.
Mr. President, in Ukraine, would you provide military support?
Oh, okay. So only certain countries will be eligible to get a golden card. Yeah. So only certain countries that I guess we trust to send over, somebody that they're willing to pay $5 million to be in here for. I mean, shoot, send your best and your brightest if you're gonna put $5 million behind them, please. But hopefully it is only from ally countries or ally nations. And if it's not, then well, I'm gonna be real with you, Trump. This was a pretty dumb idea.
Stupid.
Support for Ukraine in the future under a peace agreement.
Say it again louder.
Would you provide military support for Ukraine in the future as part?
You mean like
of the peace
security?
agreement? Yeah.
Well, people are going to do it. I think Europe will largely be responsible for that. European countries will be responsible.
But Macron asked for a U.S. backup.
Well, we'll see. I mean, right now we're just in the process of negotiating. We've pretty much negotiated our deal on rare earth and various other things. We'll be looking at that security. You're talking about general security for Ukraine later on. I don't think that's going to be a problem. There are a lot of people that want to do it. And I spoke with Russia about it. They didn't seem to have a problem with it. So I think they understand. They're not going back in. Once we do this, they're not going back in.
So no air
On that gold
defense,
card.
aircraft. Would it
So Trump is, well, I don't know. Like I said, for those who don't like Trump, you're going to take this with a grain of salt. For those of us who kind of trust what the man's saying, at least 80%, well, he's pretty much just telling y'all period point blank. Yeah, Putin's not, expanding his borders. Like, how they try to fearmonger you. If we let him take Ukraine, all of Europe is next.
Nope.
And no, that was never going to happen. It was all about Ukraine and keeping NATO off the board. That's all it's ever been about. It is not about Russia becoming imperialistic and trying to take over all of Europe. No. I mean, bro, you can make that imperialistic judgment of Trump more of Trump than on Putin, to be honest.
the U.S. provide, for instance, air defense?
Well, I just told you, right now we're not providing anything. It's about Europe too. Europe put in $100 billion and we put in $350 billion. It's not a fair thing. We would normally say, and I say it now anyway, but we want equalization. They should put up actually more money than us because they're right there. We have an ocean in between. But we've had very good talks with Russia. We've had very good talks with Ukraine, and we think it maybe will come to an end and we'll stop killing young people all over the battlefield and elsewhere.
On Europe, so do you plan to maintain heavy military presence in Europe in the long term, like tens of thousands of troops?
We'll be involved.
With
Yeah, we'll be involved in Europe. We're involved in Europe now. Europe is our friend. They took advantage of us on trade. We don't like that. What the EU does, we don't like that. But we'll solve that the old-fashioned way.
I mean, yeah, we're in a trade deficit with most European countries. So when he said Europe don't treat us good, I mean, we're talking about hella countries that do not have a good trade with us. I mean, bro, German, bro, this is what really kills me about Germany. I mean, all the German cars that we sell here, but nobody in Germany is really driving our cars. That's a problem. I'd be willing to go ahead and give up the option of a Mercedes and BMW if it means we're not getting screwed over by these people. I'll be happy to do it. I know some of y'all, it'd break it damn hard. Like, trust me, I love those cars too. But look, man, we just can't be getting played on the back end like this, guys. Like, it's more than just,
give them the same reciprocal numbers. We're talking about a reciprocal tax, that. And if they charge us, we charge them. Right now, they charge us much, much more than we charge them. And they have non-monetary taxes also and tariffs. And we're going to change that. It's all changing. We're not going to be the people that we were. We had people in this office sitting right at this desk or another model of this desk, because as you know, the other desk is right now being refurbished.
Is Steve Witkoff delaying his trip to the Middle East?
No, not that I know of. No, Steve. And the Middle East has been great. Saudi Arabia has treated us really well. They really.
And hey, we got about 120 y'all in here, man. Do me a favor and double tap that screen and like the video with the 3 dots up there in corner, and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the support. Let's keep it going. And you can send in any questions, comments, disagreements. $2 and up. We'll go ahead and post it to the top of the chat, man. Just like my girl Seth and my man Foley. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's keep it going.
Oh yeah, I think Qatar has treated us very well too. They want to get that whole mess ended in the Middle East. We don't even talk about that anymore. You guys haven't asked one question about the Middle East, but the Middle East seems to be doing relative.
And shout out for my man Mark for the baller alert. Appreciate the support, my friend. But let me go ahead and bowling. All right, let's keep it going. All right, that gold card would probably be a good way for terrorists to get into the country, especially the ones that aren't on the system. And that was the first point I made, Mark. I said, off a rip, I don't like it. Like, we just got done having a homeland security crisis, and then this man want to talk about a gold card, and he's not really even. I'm a little bit frustrated with Trump right now. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a little bit frustrated because you're not even really telling us, like, yo, please tell us there's more details than somebody being able to hand over a 5 million. Because if that's the case, fuck that. They need to be able to hand over 500 million. Like, that needs to be it. If you're just giving it out just for money, it can't just be as cheap as 5 million.
Well,
I mean, bro, 5 million is $5 to a country. To a country. 5 million is life-changing dollars to the individual, but to a country, I mean, they blow it out on a daily basis.
May I ask about the Middle East, sir, about the Middle East? For months, even before you were elected in November, you've spoken about your desire to free all of those hostages that have been held by Hamas since October the 7th, a year and a half ago. And just a few weeks ago, you gave an ultimatum. You said if they're not all released by noon on February the 15th, there would be hell to pay. Is Hamas thumbing their nose at you, Mr. President?
No, I think the opposite. So, as you know, they weren't going to release any more hostages. And I said there's going to be hell to pay. And then they agreed that they were going to release the hostages that they had agreed to release, plus an extra one. And so that you could say that was a big difference. But I said it from that point, it's up to Bibi Netanyahu and Israel. I may have taken a different stance. But they did release, they went back to releasing the hostages. But if you remember, they said we weren't going to release any. They've totally ended it. And I said, well, they're not going to release any. They'll be held to pay. And but the rest is really up to him. What I may have done it differently than him. It's not my decision, it's his decision. But they did release all of those hostages. So.
Mr. President, when you spoke to Vladimir Putin, did he raise or did you discuss at all the possibility of a minerals deal on the Ukrainian land that Russia now controls?
I didn't discuss it, no. I'd like to buy minerals on Russian land too, if we can. The rare earth.
Oh, yeah.
They have very good rare earth also. They both do. I would say that. And oil and gas. Look, it's a great.
I mean, opening back up trade with these countries is not a bad idea at all. I mean, look, as much as you hate Russia, us trading with Russia is going to make things a little more cheaper, especially gas, especially energy prices. Believe it or not, we was getting 7% of our energy from Russia.
Thing, if we sell this, it's great for Russia too.
Before this,
because we can do deals there. They have very valuable land that isn't utilized. So something like that could take place. Yeah.
Have you put raising or lifting sanctions against Russia on the table?
No, we haven't lifted any sanctions on anybody.
On the table as part of any negotiation?
I guess it will be at some point, but right now we haven't agreed to lift sanctions on anybody.
On that gold card, getting back to that, I'm fascinated by this, Mr. President.
You should be fascinated by it. Your taxes will go down to nothing.
Would a Russian oligarch be eligible for a gold card?
Yeah, possibly. Hey, I know some.
See,
on the table as part of any negotiation?
I guess it will be at some point, but right now we haven't agreed to lift sanctions on any.
All right, now, yeah, he's gonna have to get better details on this. Yeah, I'm confused. Like, I'm pretty sure all of us, left and right, can agree that, yo, we don't want people getting in here because they can afford to, my man. It's like, that's not what we want. Like, it's not about it's about American safety. So I'm not liking that unless we have like some type of background lookup of this person, or it's only their CEOs and executives and all that good stuff. Then maybe we can hear something out there. But if we're talking about almost anybody who can pop up with $5 million and a nice story, yeah, I don't like that. Like, I'm not going.
Anybody
on that gold card? Getting back to that,
this ain't it.
You should be fascinated by it. Your taxes will go down to nothing.
Would a Russian oligarch be eligible for a gold card?
Yeah, possibly. Hey, I know some Russian oligarchs that are very nice people. It's possible. They're not quite as wealthy as they used to be. They're not as wealthy as they used to be. I think they can afford. I think they can afford $5 million.
So
no, a lot of people are going to want
to.
A lot of people are going to want to be in this country, and they'll be able to work and provide jobs and build companies and pay taxes. All of those things. It's an incredible. It's an incredible thing. I mean, this is the group that is the first to hear it. Nobody's heard about it. Nobody ever thought about it. But
we're the first to hear it. But my brother, can you? I mean, dog, bro, he needs to lay out some details into this.
We've been thinking about it very, very strongly over the last week, and I was going to announce it sometime next week, and I figure, why not? We have a lot of cameras blazing right now. Might as well.
It's like, bro, this is like hearing. It's like low-key listening to one of your friends talking about a reckless night y'all about to have, and he's telling you about all the reckless shit he's about to do, but he's not really telling you on how he's about to get home or anything. It's like, it's concerning. It's like, hold on, bro. Like, yeah, like, I'm trying to follow you on this, but, you know, safety first here now.
This we'll do it now. We'll have Caroline announce it the next time. No, it's a great thing. The gold card. Remember the words, the gold card. Somebody said, can we go with the Trump gold card? I said, if it helps, use the name Trump. I'll give it to you for free.
I like it.
Mr. President, you probably just launched 10,000 stories.
No facts. That's a good question. If I was in that room, I'd be like, hey, now I ain't even gonna lie. Well, what's the details on that? Because like everybody in this room can all agree that 5 million just to get somebody in here is crazy. So where's the questions? Why am I feel like I'm the only person asking this question?
So you want to elaborate a little bit more on what Russian oligarchs you know?
I know. Isn't it interesting how many stories we do tell? And they all turn out to be true, and they all turn out to be ultimately correct. You know, Trump was right about everything. Do you have one of those Trump was right about everything hats? I'm going to give it to this gentleman. Get me one of them.
But they're all going to be vetted. Everybody who comes in gets vetted, okay? They get vetted, so you got to, you know. We're going to begin in 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. The sale will start in about 2 weeks.
Mr. President, do you see a more active role for Zelensky now, given the status?
I hope so.
And guys, like I've already stated, you know, members, you guys are free to come up here and, you know, because I love my members, yes, you can go ahead and bring somebody up here to debate with. So guess dude, Shmooly, if y'all want to have a quick little 15-minute back and forth, hey, I'm all for it. I'll go ahead and drop the link right now. We can have this conversation.
I mean, look, I think that we want to get that country back on its feet. And right now, it's been destroyed. And so here, give me this here. Give me all of them. Look.
Yes.
See that?
America.
Trump was right about everything. Just came in.
Freaking bro. It's like asshole, bro. This man's an ass. I love it though, because I ain't gonna lie to them the same thing. Bro, if I was right about everything the way this man was, I would get a hat made too. Bro, if I'm trying to make America great again like this man was, I'd make a damn hat about it too. Like, I can't blame him if I'd have done the same thing. What can I say?
Somebody said, I said, this was sent in by a fan. I said, I think we should make some of them, right? But we were pretty much. You want one?
I'll pass.
Are you allowed to take one? Because he'll consider it. I know him well. He's sort of a stiff.
I said you were
Yeah,
right.
Brian, you're not a stiff. He's sort of a stiff guy. You know? He'll take other things, but not a free hat.
Always say yes to the president. Always say yes to the
Would
president.
anybody like one?
Mr. President, an easy question perhaps for you. Maybe it's difficult. I'm going to ask you this question about the.
Who do you work for?
I work for 2 news organizations.
Who?
I work for 2 news organizations.
Yeah, who are they?
I work for Gray Television, America's second largest broadcaster, and I work for iHeartRadio. So there you go. But let me ask you the easier, tough question, Mr. President. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl.